Hi everyone, I'm Mowrey, Performance Mindset Coach. I help dancers calm the mind and body, create mental strength, and cultivate self-confidence so they can shine on and off the stage. Thanks for joining me today for another Apolla Wellness class, and thank you to Apolla for providing these amazing free resources to our community. Parents, teachers, coaches, this class is for you today. We're going to talk about 5 tips to help your child or student develop a growth mindset. Before we get into that, let's talk about the definitions of growth and fixed mindset. Psychologist and researcher Carol Dweck is the one who coined those terms. Through her research, she found that a growth mindset is the belief that our qualities, traits, and abilities can be cultivated and improved upon through effort, strategies, and help from others. On the other hand, a fixed mindset is the belief that qualities, traits, and abilities are fixed, carved in stone. This is the mindset that believes we get what we get and it's really hard to change that. For more on the difference between growth and fixed mindset, check out my video from last month where I talk about the 5 key areas where growth and fixed mindset differ. So why is it important to develop a growth mindset? Well, through her research, Carol Dweck found that people with a growth mindset, not only are they more successful, but they also love what they do more because they see the value in the process, in the learning and the growing that they do every day, and not just in the outcome or the result. Now, before we get into our tips, I have a true or false question for you. And I want you to think about this as we go through the tips. And at the end of the video, we'll talk about it. So true or false, praising a child's talent will result in lasting confidence and a growth mindset. Think about that and we'll come back to it. Tip number 1 for helping your child or student develop a growth mindset is to normalize mistakes. Remember, with a growth mindset, the desire is to learn and grow. And it's the belief that we can do that through effort, strategies, and hard work. And through that learning and growing process, it's going to be mistakes, right? Mistakes are part of learning and getting better at things. And so the more we as the adults can normalize mistakes, the more that's going to show the children that that is part of the process. So a couple things to ask yourself. Number 1, ask yourself, how do I handle mistakes? When I make mistakes, how do I treat myself? What am I saying to myself? What am I doing? How am I reacting? Because guess what? The kids are definitely picking up on that and seeing that. Another thing to ask yourself is, how do you react when your child or students or others make mistakes? What is your reaction? Is it a big deal? Is there shame involved? Be really gentle with yourself as you reflect on how you react when other people make mistakes. And then practice normalizing mistakes. You can talk about your mistakes to the children in your life, talk about times you've made mistakes, how it felt to make those mistakes, how you handled it. And then you can also use a phrase whenever you make a mistake or someone else makes a mistake to bring them back to a growth mindset. And remember that mistakes are part of the process. 2 of my favorite phrases are, mistakes help my brain grow, and sometimes learning feels messy, and that's okay. Tip number 2 is to focus your praise on effort, focus, perseverance, and the effective use of strategies. Praise is really important to give to our kids, but we want to be really mindful when and how we give it. If we're only praising the outcome and the results, that's what they're going to get fixated on. So we want to praise the process that got them there. So when you're giving praise, make sure you're looking for that effort, the strategies that they're using, the challenges and setbacks that they're facing head on, and praise those things. This could sound like, hey, I can tell how hard you've been working on your math homework lately, and I can tell how much you've already grown. Or, hey, that skill was really challenging, and I'm so proud of you for continuing to try your hardest. Tip number 3 is that when your student or child does have a favorable outcome, such as a high test score or winning a competition, to help your child or student tie in that favorable outcome to the process that got them there. So help your child or student see the hard work, the perseverance, their focus, their strategies, their help from others that got them to that favorable outcome. Helping them see the connection between the two and that it was the process that helped them get there and not just their innate talent or ability or natural skill is going to help them develop a growth mindset and be reminded that it's the learning, the journey that is going to help them get to where they want to go. Tip number 4 is to encourage and model a love of learning, where mistakes and failures are part of the process to growth. Talk about what you're learning in your work and in your hobbies. Talk about your setbacks and challenges that you're facing right now or faced in the past. And then ask your child what they're learning. What are they learning in school? What are they learning in their hobbies or sports teams? What are they learning about themselves as they learn these new things? All of these things will help them develop a growth mindset. Tip number 5, let's go back to the true or false from the beginning of the video. True or false, praising a child's talent will result in lasting confidence and a growth mindset. What do you think? It's false. Yeah, according to Carol Dweck, labels on intelligence and talent will actually harm motivation and performance and encourage a fixed mindset. She explains that praise on talent and intelligence, while it might give a brief boost of confidence to the child, as soon as things get hard, they are likely to have fixed mindset thoughts of, oh, if this is so hard, maybe I'm not a natural. Or, oh, if I don't get this skill quickly, I'm not going to be called talented anymore. So instead, we really want to focus on our praise on what we talked about in tip number 2, on the focus, effort, perseverance, hard work, and strategies that we're seeing them do in the process, instead of labels on their intelligence or talent. Thanks for joining me today for these 5 tips on how to help your child or student develop a growth mindset. And thanks to Apolla for having us. I'll see y'all soon.